before we get into all of this, the Canada game last night. I'm intrigued by what you saw there.
Well, I'm regretting not doing a live bet.
I have a take on that as well.
I'm regretting it, but that was an interesting game because that first period, Canada was getting dominated. Like U.S. showed
they got
up.
dominated the whole game.
Well, goalie did play good, but like Canada still created. Like they were able to score on their chances, and they were really physical, which I enjoyed. But you know, USA really pushed the pace, and they brought their speed and loved trying to create things off the rush. But it was a tale. To me, it was a tale of two games. So that first period, like sheer domination, and then Canada was able to kind of get some traction. Obviously,
it is Canada Czechia tonight for the gold medal. We're going to chat about that a little bit later on in the show. A redemption game for Team Canada. We had a bit of a hiccup on YouTube, so I think the YouTube chat may have missed me calling tonight's game for the Oilers the Griffin Reinhardt Bowl. I want to make sure
everyone needs to know,
is a good joke, and I want to make sure everyone hears it.
Could be the Jordan Eberle Bowl. Could be the Ryan Smith Bowl.
Yeah, could be a battle of whatever Stanley Cup final from the 80s you want to pick as well. But no, it's the Griffin Reinhardt Bowl. The Oilers need a win here. They're on a bit of a slide, drop back-to-back games the Jets game was acceptable, but the other one against the Kraken, that just can't happen. Like, this team cannot keep doing stuff like this.
No,
it's embarrassing.
What are we even doing? We go up 2-0. It looks really promising. Looks like we're controlling the game. And then we absolutely take our foot off the gas and let the Kraken of all teams just run away with it. It was so disheartening. And I think that game is like the straw that broke the camel's back with most Oilers fans. And now everyone's seeing the light of the changes to be to help address these we have with this roster. We're halfway through the season. Cannot saying, well, we need to play better. We need some fundamental changes to help kind of get things back on path. I'm glad the players had a players only meeting. Hopefully that sparks some things, but we have some glaring weaknesses.
Well, you said players only meeting there, so I'll read to the listeners the line or the quote from Jason Gregor's Game Day article today, which was, a player told me Jay Woodcroft, who is usually very calm, tore a strip off the team in the second intermission. He added it was deserved. The players held a players-only meeting yesterday to voice their concerns. Edmonton gifted that game, and the players need to figure out how to lessen their stretches of ineffectiveness immediately. Yesterday, their head coach inferred his patience is nearing the end, and I think a lot of us would be with you, Jay Woodcroft.
Well, also, I bet you the seat he's sitting in is feeling a little hot at the moment as well.
I don't know if he's necessarily feeling any sort of heat in terms of his job, but I think he's feeling some pressure because he needs to make sure this team's a winner. But they're not, like, it's year one of an extension for him. You can't do that. It's too early to have that conversation.
We've done sillier things.
But it'd be silly, right? But yeah, I think there's a lot of guys in that room who are feeling a lot of pressure right now. Anyways, this is the lead brought to you by our friends at the Sports Closet, because we are coming to you live from the Sports Closet studio. We got those beautiful Connor McDavid reverse retros in stock. Anything reverse retro you want, or I forget who said it in the chat yesterday. Someone said they went to Sports Closet just to get this lid, because the only spot in the city you can get it is at the Sports Closet, because it's one of their custom orders. Look at that.
They got a great selection.
They also have Nation gear.
And now they're stocked up with Nation gear. We're getting caught up.
There was someone else in here. Matthew says, you guys got a new sponsor with Star Mechanical. They're a great company, and we use them for all of our plumbing needs doing renovations. Shout out to our new friends on Oilersnation Everyday at Star Mechanical as well. You can find out more about them at starmechanical.ca, residential, commercial. They do it all mechanical, and that's what we love about them. If you need to book an appointment, you can give them a 780-481-8873, or there's a little book appointment on their website at starmechanical.ca. Let's get into the Sherwood 4 Giant Game Day. Oilers, Islanders. The Islanders are coming off a big win over the Vancouver Canucks, where they scored 6 goals, and early in the year, goal scoring was not a problem for the Islanders, which is something considering goal scoring had been a problem for the Islanders for the last, handful of seasons. But they scored 6 against the Vancouver Canucks. I still don't view this team as very threatening to find the back of the net, at least at 5-on-5, even though they've been slightly better this year. Goals against, that's the big problem. We remember that from the last time the Oilers played the Islanders, put up 50 shots and really just couldn't beat Ilya Sorokin. Edmonton needs to finish their chances. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but that's my key to victory is you'll get some looks on this Islanders team. They are not perfect defensively, and if you bury your chances, you have a decent shot at winning because I still don't love their forward depth and their scoring abilities. Like, yeah. Anyways, that's my key to victory is you got to bury your chances when you get them because you'll get them. It's hard to beat Ilya Sorokin.
Yeah, he's a brick wall back there, and he's probably the reason why they've had any kind of success, even though they're the greatest season right now.
Yeah,
the Islanders, but any kind of success keeping the puck on that comes from him. But we just got to go and win this game. Like we embarrassed ourselves against the Kraken. We're playing a team that we should beat. Yeah, they don't have the forward depth, but they still have a guy like Barzal who can be a game breaker.
Yeah,
but like we just got to show up and be pissed off against these guys.
There is your lineup for the New York Islanders tonight, courtesy of the new look Daily Faceoff, which looks pretty sharp. Although I have a beef.
Do tell.
The Oilers jerseys are still orange. They do not wear orange anymore. I'm demanding that gets fixed, which I'm sure it will be. But anyways, the Islanders, you saw their forward group up there. Barzal centering Bailey and Zizekas. Brock Nelson centering Beauvillier and Anders Lee. Jean-Gabriel Pajot centering Hudson Fasching and Zach Parise. Atu Ratti with Cal Clutterbuck and Matt Martin. The D pairings are Alex Romanov with Noah Dobson. Parker Witherspoon with Ryan Pulak. Sebastian Aho, the defenseman, with Scott Mayfield, not Sebastian Aho of the Carolina Hurricanes, obviously. They're dealing with a few injuries. Adam Pellick's day-to-day, so is Oliver Wahlstrom and Kyle Palmieri as well. But as an Islanders team, you can't take lightly. They're having a pretty good season in a very good division. They're 22-15-2 on the season. The Oilers need to go pedal to the floor here in this hockey game.
Well, the Islanders work. That's the one thing you listed those forwards. Those are all workers. So we can't take them for granted, which we love to do, especially this season. We have to expect a team that's going to come out and be hard to play against.
Yeah.
That might not have the skill that we have. So we have to outwork them and then just let our skill take over from there.
Yeah, I think that's a really good key to victory is outwork them and let your skill take over because there's no doubt the Oilers are the more skilled team on paper right now, even with the injuries they're still kind of dealing with, namely Evander Kane out of the lineup. The lineup tonight for the Edmonton Oilers is looking a little bit different as well. The top line specifically is going to have a new look. Cleem the Dream getting elevated to that top spot. What do you make of big number 21? 21? Can you do something for me on McDavid's wing? Am I right?
I think you're right. I think he's earned the opportunity, and what we've been doing hasn't been working. So mixing it up is good. That's another big body on that line that can be a physical presence as well. So they can hopefully get pucks loose, just similar to what Hyman does, and just open up some time and space for McDavid because the last thing you need to get McDavid is more time and space if you're playing against him. So I think Cleem can do that, and also he can shoot the biscuit. So if he's willing to get into the right areas, McDavid will find him because that is what McDavid does.
Yep.
So this is an interesting opportunity, especially if we're when we talking to the betting talk about maybe thinking about a Cleem goal tonight playing with McDavid. So I think it's a worthy experience. And then what it also does is we have Nuge slotting back in his second line left wing and just really gives us a nice counter punch on that second line with, what do we call it? Dry Ryan Kai. Getting them reunited and seeing if they can find their chemistry. So I feel really solid about a good 1-2 punch with our first and second lines again.
A bunch of really interesting comments in the Nation Network YouTube chat, and I'm going to get to a handful of them. Liam, I also want your take as me and you are both on the board of the Klim Kostin fan club. I want to know what you think about him getting that shot up into the top line.
Well,
we've been asking for it for a while.
For a long time.
You've been asking for it longer than me, too.
I called him the answer.
You did.
So here we are.
You did.
We're at this point.
We will find out tonight.
He has not let me down this far into it. But, I mean, who else has earned a shot? Everyone else has an opportunity. He's actually scoring goals. He's producing, physically, being a presence. Isn't that exactly what Patrick Maroon was doing on this team when he was playing with McDavid? Hopefully Cleem the Dream, Clem Shady, Mr. Cleem, whatever we're calling him. He can be the same guy. I believe in Cleem.
I like putting just a couple of real hard workers next to McDavid. And also guy with skill. It's not like you're just throwing someone out there. I would argue that Klim Kostin has more skill than a Patrick Maroon. And that's why I'm intrigued by it. Because he has all those other intangibles. He's feisty. He goes to the tough areas. He plays with that physical edge, but he's got better hands. He's got a better shot than a guy like Maroon did. So I'm really intrigued to see if this can be any sort of an answer kind of situation. We have the Oilers Nation answer belt outside, and I'm hoping that Klim can be wearing.
I would love to have a Costin belt ceremony.
Yeah, it'd be great. You guys have some takes in the chat right now. Smart Cowboy says, yes, Klim the Dream gets 3 points tonight. Jake Friesen says, Klim Shady, let's go. Rusty says, I really like this lineup. Costin and Hyman should be really good on McDavid's wings. And Tyler Mulick says, I really like the third line, TBH. And Aaron, if we can, just maybe flash up the graphic with the line combos on there. Again, the third line for the Oilers is going to be Puljujarvi, Fogel, and Ryan McLeod. And even that's a trio that I think, maybe they can get going. Did they not play together at one point?
I was going to say, wasn't that the line that kind of played really well at one point in the season?
Or in the playoffs?
It was. I thought it was this season, and
I
McLeod got hurt.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They were buzzing a bit.
Yeah, and McLeod got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just kind of fell apart, and then obviously McLeod's back now, but yeah, maybe that's the depth kind of the Oilers need.
Yeah. Matthias Janmark down on the fourth line with Dylan Holloway and Derek Ryan to round out your lineup report for this evening's game.
For me, Janmark being on the fourth line says a lot.
Really?
Like, when Kane eventually comes back, like we've kind of been speculating, you need to move a player with like 1.25 or whatever, right?
Either him or Ryan on waivers, yeah.
Yeah, so I think those two guys have really got to kind of step it up a little bit here, and before Kane comes back, which seems to be closer and closer now than we originally thought.
Yeah. Greg is in the chat, says, Klim making the top line 100% reflects Woody's comments the other day on rewarding guys that are going and not trying to get guys going, in brackets, someone like a Puljujarvi. But again, I'll go back to the point that I've made time and time again this season. He is good on the third line. Put players in positions to succeed. I think Klim Kostin on the top line, that's a spot where he can succeed. We know now. We're almost halfway through the season. Puljujarvi's not firing up there, but he's been decent in giving them solid minutes on the third line. He can give you meaningful, effective minutes down there, so keep him there. Put him in a spot to succeed. So I really do like the balance that this current lineup has. It doesn't feel awfully overloaded or anything like that. I think it's a good move from Jay Woodcroft with the forward group. Let's go between the pipes. Jack Campbell came in of relief of Stuart Skinner and didn't allow a goal. Granted, he allowed he only had to face 3 shots over 24 minutes. Regardless, Jay Woodcroft said, that's enough for me to go back to him tonight against the Islanders. I like it. I say, let's try to get this guy going a little bit. But what do you make of Jack Campbell getting the call?
Well, to go against what Woodcroft is saying, Jack Campbell's a guy we got to get going.
Yeah, but I also think it's different in goaltending because you need to make sure you're not burning out Stuart Skinner, which might be.
Yeah, agreed. And, I think, Jack came in a good backup role last game. Skinner got, obviously, not all Skinner's fault, but Skinner got pulled. Jack Campbell came in, held himself, stayed strong in there. Well, 3 shots, whatever. But, I think it's a good opportunity to kind of build off of that positivity and have him come into a game tonight and just stand in there. And this could be a game that helps get Jack back on the rails and feel good.
I would just love to see him kind of have his signature game as his first signature.
We
game
haven't seen one yet.
I know, that's what I mean.
This is, and maybe he elevates because it's Campbell versus Sorokin. Like this is, it might be an interesting duo. Who knows?
Hungry Tyler's in the chat, says, when can we talk about our daily trade targets? That's also becoming a thing where I feel like every one of our shows, Liam, just eventually divulges into like, all right, who can we acquire? Who can get? We're going to try to not do that today. So I'm sorry.
But we need to do it. Like we need to make some moves.
We do. We need to make some moves, but it's a Sherwood 4 Giant game day, and it's a double Sherwood 4 Giant game day, and we have a hard out at 12:30 today. So there's a lot that we still got to roll through today on the show.
We're mixing the lines up again, and we're doing these things, but it's still the same lineup. So
it's shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I still do think the moves are good. Kool-Aid season, always.
KB's in the chat, says, Costin316 says, I just whipped your ass. Hey, Nation Gear, need this shirt made. If he's the answer, he gets a shirt. That's the rule. It's in our Oilers Nation constitution.
It's percolating.
Yeah. Ooh, percolating. I like that. Rusty was in with another interesting comment that Woodcroft had the other day. His quote was, "Patience has an expiration date." And this is why he says he trusts Woodcroft to get the boys going. I think that maybe a player-only meeting shows that there's some desperation, and I really want to see that desperation reflect in their play on the ice. I mentioned my giant key to victory, and we can get into those, was finish the chances when you get them. But my little key to victory, and it's honestly probably not that little, play with some desperation. Play like your season's on the line tonight. Show us that you at least have that in you as a group. Those are my two keys. Liam, do you have a key to victory?
My key to victory is I'm just going to do what you did for the Seattle game. Avoid the 10-bell mistakes, because that literally bit them in the ass, and that's why they lost that game. So, yeah, just kind of sharpen up 5-on-5, I guess, and you got to give it to the Islanders. I mean, they have one of the best goalies in the league. The offense has got to be there tonight. So, and last time they shut you out, so you got to get a goal against them.
I'm sick and tired of us scoring first and not winning now. Like, I just like, or blowing leads. Like,
what a messed up trend.
It is driving me crazy. And it just comes with just everyone being comfortable with having a lead and not doing the work required to take it to the finish line. So tonight, just come with your hard hats, your steel-toed boots on, your lunch pail with your thermos, and let's go to work, man. Let's go blue collar. Let's work our fucking tails off. Sorry for swearing, but like,
nope, family show.
I know, but still, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of trauma.
Sometimes families swear.
And sometimes, we get heated, but it comes from a place of love. So just go to work.
All right. I don't hate that at all. Those are your keys to victory, brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford. The Giant, like I said, it is a double game day because Canada is also in action tonight. And what a sports night it is going to be. 4:30 Mountain Time, Canada versus Czechia for the gold. That will just roll perfectly into a 7 o'clock puck drop. Oilers and Islanders, you do not have to leave your couch tonight, and that is fantastic stuff. We got the side-by-side up here comparing these two teams. Canada averaging 6.5 goals a game, Czechia averaging 5.8. The goals against is a big difference there, and that is the one area where Canada clearly does not have the advantage, is between the pipes. But I will say, in a one-game situation, you just need someone to be hot, and goaltender Thomas Milic is clearly that, because I will go as far to say he stole that game against the United States. Even though they won 6-2, got 6 goals of run support, one of them was the empty netter. They don't win that game if it's not for number one between the pipes.
Yeah. What do you think of the goalie interference calls? There's a lot of the second one was clear. I can't believe that wasn't clear.
The first one was not right.
It's so hard to say because the international rules are so different, aren't they? Like, I don't know them properly, but he definitely hit the goalie, but he was also definitely pushed into the goal.
And he had like possession of the puck.
Yeah. So
like it was weird. But at the end of the day, Canada scored 6 goals. Now, can something like that change the momentum of the game? Yes. But
here's what I like about it. And I wish the NHL adopted the exact same rules for goalie interference. It might be overprotective of the goalies. It might be too much, but it's clear cut. The rules are there. If you touch the goalie in the head, it's not going to count. No goal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so there's no gray area.
There really isn't much of a gray area when it comes to the double IHF.
But it's so soft. Like, there's gonna be mild. You can't. No.
Conor Bedard continued his unbelievable run at the World Juniors as well. He's now up to 36 points on the tournament in just 16 games, in a tournament that is ran by 19-year-olds. Conor Bedard has been running the show. Plus 25 on that plus minus. It's remarkable what this guy is doing. If it didn't have such a terrible payout, I'd be hammering him over 1.5 points again tonight. But I would argue him doing what he does is almost a given. Canada needs to continue to get their support pieces going under him if they want to beat Czechia this time around.
Well, and I felt like that happened against the U.S. Like, it wasn't the Conor Bedard show.
Nope.
There was some depth scoring, and it was a full team attack. I feel like we're not getting enough Reed Schaefer, but that is clearly biased.
He played like what's weird with the Reed Schaefer thing is he was the 13th forward. Colton Dot goes down, and I was like, oh, this is great because Ginger Beef's finally going to get a shot. He's going to play a regular shift on that fourth line. Owen Beck gets re-added to the team after being cut, and Reed Schaefer's still at the 13th forward, which is a little puzzling.
You could do that. I thought your roster was set after like
only
first
for
puck
injuries,
drop.
and you have to rule them out for the tournament. So like,
Oh, I
if
see.
Doc was day to day, they couldn't then like bring Doc back on, and like you
Weird.
have to rule him out of the tournament.
He'll play a big role next year.
Oh, yeah.
Schaefer.
Oh,
Like,
for
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
for sure.
As a returning guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
definitely.
the interesting thing tonight is Czechia obviously has the mental advantage over Canada, beating them quite handily in the round robin. But that also can fuel the thirst and hunger for Team Canada to kind of overcome that loss. But Czechia is an interesting story. Like, they've played really well in this tournament. Like, I think this game is going to be much closer than how the sports books are handicapping it.
They've done that the whole tournament too. There's
I
a
know.
lot of the sports books. Like against Slovakia, Canada was minus 5,000 favorites. Like, come on. Slovakia
Yeah.
beat the US.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like,
very weird.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you don't really get a lot of value on Canada, but we can get into our Betway wrap for both the Oilers game and the Canada
What if
game.
you parlay the Oilers and Team Canada?
I'll get you an update on that in just
Real
a
oily
second.
parlay.
I actually had a quick question. I know we're tight, but do you think it's silly that the NHL doesn't draft small goalies? Like Thomas Milik was the best goalie, one of the best goalies in the WHL last season. Now he's in the World Juniors and has turned Canada's tournament around. Stole them the game last night, made 43 saves, and he's just not relevant in the NHL at all.
Well, you got UC Soros, who's not the tallest.
He's 5'11".
He's
Yeah.
a
and
rare
then,
one,
and then
though.
you've got the interesting one to me is Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, that's what
He
I keep
owns the
thinking of.
AHL, and Calgary will not bring him up.
He's a WHL guy too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know.
Well, like the whole goalie dynamic shifted because it used to be like if you weren't tall, you're a goalie,
yeah.
and now it's like these big, athletic, agile.
You need to be 6'3" or they won't like look in your direction.
Yeah.
Our friends at Betway aren't even offering Conor Bedard to score. Not very many sports books are giving
Probably
him.
smart.
Yeah, probably smart
'Cause
business.
the odds
on
aren't
their
going to be
part.
good for anyone.
Shane Wright plus 110, Brendan Ottman 120, Dylan Gunther plus 140, Josh Waugh is my favorite bet at plus
Ooh.
150. This guy's up in the top 6. He scored the empty netter last game. So if it comes down to an empty net situation again tonight, that was one of yours. I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say it's funny you say that, Tyler.
I didn't even see the graphic.
Yeah, Joshua Waugh. I mean,
I love the guy. He's been unreal.
he's probably been Canada's best player outside of Bedard. No.
Yeah.
He had 2 goals last night, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Sorry.
He did. And then I just went for the over too. I mean, I think Canada's gonna have to bring their offense if they want to beat Czechia, and they've been scoring goals for fun since Czechia. So Canada could hit the over on their own, to be honest. Not
Ooh,
underestimating Czechia.
yeah, I know.
The offense has been absolutely rolling, and Canada have the best player this tournament has seen in a long time.
The
He
other
could
thing
do it all on his own.
I like about taking the over in games like this is the extra aggressive with the empty net, right? In a normal
Yeah.
hockey game, in an NHL game, if you're down 4-1, are you pulling the goalie? I know that's a bit of a bad example because still that wouldn't push the total over 6.5. But if you're down 4-1, you're not pulling the goalie in a regular game. You're doing that in this situation.
Mhm.
You know, even if you're down 5-1, you might look to pull your goalie in
Yeah,
this
you
game
got
to
to
give
do
yourself
whatever it
any
takes
shot.
to win.
So the extra aggressive empty net, I think, gives the over a good chance at hitting this evening.
How weird was it that the US changed goalies yesterday too?
That would, to
I
me,
do-
if I was
don't get it. That guy played a game. It's not like you're like putting him in for experience. He played a game in the
if
tournament.
I was that guy, I'd be like mad. I'd be like, yo, you need like.
yeah,
I'm not
Yeah, it was a
warm. I've
weird
been
thing.
sitting on the bench all game. Like, what do you want from me?
It's
It was
super
so weird.
yeah.
I'm surprised the announcers even caught it. I wouldn't even be paying attention to something like that
No.
in that situation. We'll quickly do our bets for the Oilers game here. They're minus 167 favorites at home, minus 110 in regulation. And on the puck line, the Oilers are plus 140. Anything you guys like in this hockey game here? I'm telling you, I'm tempted to throw a little sprinkle on a clean cost and anytime goal. Plus
right.
375.
I think that is the bet of the night.
How could you not? Yeah.
Of course, he's playing with Connor McDavid. Like his percentage of scoring goes to like 50%. Like it's just gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really good bet, and those are nice juicy odds. And then for me, I think this is I don't know what it's gonna be. If it's gonna be an over and under, it's the Oilers, so likely over. But Oilers to win, Connor plus 2+ points.
Not bad. Liam, you like anything?
Yeah, Clem Shady. I
Clem
love
Shady
that.
goal. Yeah.
I made today's light goal 76 for how many points Connor McDavid will finish. Will have after tonight's game. So
4 points.
He's at
3.
73.
Oh, sorry, 3 points for Connor.
So
Okay.
I'm going back to the 3 points for Connor McDavid and Clem.
I dig it. If you parlay the Oilers and Team Canada on the money line, you get a nice even money payout. If you parlay Joshua Waugh, and Klim Kostin, 11.8 to 1. That's the play. Gavin, do you have a best bet tonight?
Yeah, Draisaitl on the back of the net. He hasn't scored in 7 straight, so plus 115 Draisaitl on the back.
That was really good analysis. He's getting close to earning a microphone. That's our bit. All right. Shout out to Gavin, the intern. And Betway, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. We got a wrap. We have a hard out today for something. You'll find out about it in due time. We'll see. But anyways, appreciate everyone tuning in to a short version of the show today. Shout out to Betway, short for the Giant, for a Giant game day edition of the show. Our new friends at Star Mechanical. Check them out, starmechanical.ca. And Sports Closet, you can order online at sportscloset.ca. Get some fresh Oilers gear for an exciting stretch run around the team. We'll be back tomorrow, noon Mountain Time, with our guy Bag Milk. Talk to you then.